think it's Gotcha. I think we're good. I think we're good.
Okay. Oh, I'm muted, man. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
There's nobody.
I'm going live. I'm doing the beacon right here.
Okay.
Lava, very good drop for path teams. Comes standard with Lava. Basically has a guaranteed beacon because either you have this one that they're landing at right here, or fuck. Either you have this one obviously, or you have the one that's way back here in the little compound. So Lava is insanely good. Anytime you're playing a path team, you always want to like kind of figure out what's the best spot. One of the reasons Liquid doesn't drop in train yard anymore is because we play path, and it's we hardly ever get the beacon at train yard in terms of drill or the other one. Like most of the times we didn't get one, so we just didn't play path, or we stopped playing, or we stopped playing train yard because it's impossible to get a beacon. They're all a guarantee. J-Train thinks we get to get something, my man. Bravo.
As fast as you can.
Yep. How many games we got today? 5? All right, top circle beginning. Look.
Oh, okay.
I didn't see it. Did he show the circle? I did not manage to see. Okay, yes. So this was actually a trials ending, I believe. Hold up, gotta get the epic pen out. I was kind of drunk during this tournament. Help me out here, chat. Where did it end? I believe it ended out here, right? Somewhere out there, yeah. This is a very shifty circle. It can usually go either way. And it's a very difficult circle because, like, for one, it's hard to get a spot anywhere here for the circle that you think it is, either on one end or the other. It's easy in Skyhook, right? You have so much real Skyhook circles usually mean that there's going to be a lot of teams left in the game later on in the game, typically, because there's so much literal free real estate. Like, look at this inner second zone already. You got 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. You already have 10 11 buildings in. That could easily house 11 teams, maybe 12, 13. Some of these buildings can house multiple teams if they allow it. So anytime you have a Skyhook ending, it usually means you really need to play smart for positioning or for kills, because people aren't going to die as much. Like if it's this dome circle down here, people die out pretty quickly. Just north of that, if memory serves, yeah, that's what I kind of thought.
Okay. We need poke though. This circle, we need poke.
I like that. Not many teams do that, actually.
Yeah.
Even though, like, most players know it, but not many teams will call it like Six just did. You said for that circle we need poke, and what that basically means is, and I've reiterated this in many of my VOD reviews, you always want to plan, like, it doesn't really matter what the meta weapons are. You always want to plan your weapons for the circle that you have, because if you are playing, here, real quick, for example, if you are playing, we'll pull up the official Apex Legends interactive map, like the one circle out here by Refinery, the one that's like out here. If your entire team is R9s and shotguns, you're gonna want to force a close range fight, but it's gonna be really hard to get to any team because of how many, like 3 teams almost, like 2 to 3 teams are gonna be holding this ridge. Like this ridge right here, so already they're gonna have like scouts, snipers, etc. So you always want to plan your weapons for the zone, and note, and Six's call, make sure to take poke, means basically anything long range. This is literally, in terms of distance traveled, this is literally the worst circle they could have, because they're on the complete polar opposite of the map. Is there a particular ideal building in that Skyhook area that you want your team to post up in, assuming you'd have first dibs to it? Great question.
Oh, I forgot.
Before we start, great question. A lot of it is circle dependent, because the deeper in, so a lot of teams like to hold these outer buildings, only because the deeper in you are, the harder it is to get rotated, or to rotate out if you have to, right? If the circle pulls deeper in Skyhook, obviously you want to be deeper in. But you know, if it's this circle, it could be there's a couple circles that land out here. And obviously there's the ones that land like right out here. So it's, you want to take, anytime you take a position on for a rotation, you want to make sure, if you're not confident on the circle ending on you, then you want to take a building that still gives you options, that you're not completely locked in. Because if you take one of these, if you take any of these, whatever, then you're gonna have to place it, like, you have to play around these guys rotating, all of these guys rotating, which is a bad plan. You typically don't want to trust the other BR players in your game to run your plan for you, because that almost never works out.
Boys, it's all we need.
Sir, we're good, dude. Don't worry about it.
In front of me! In front of me!
Nice. I'm coming with you. I'm walking with him. I'm walking with Bowser.
Damn, Bowser just fucking dumped on Boo.
I'm holding, waiting on you.
Did Bowser stream this? I don't think I.
Watson's weak. Pushing. You need to push this.
I'm here. Put out one.
Holy crap.
Put out one. Dead.
Complexity.
Let's
start.
fucking go! Another team, another team! Top under one, top under one!
Pat down! Bowser needs here!
I'm coming! Cracked another one!
I killed him! I
Dead!
Dude,
I'm
Bowser's.
rushing! I fucking go!
Holy shit.
The fuck off us! Now let's regroup! I'm healing up inside. Let's fucking go!
That's what I'm talking about, dude. It was literally just
Fuck
this
off.
for
Let's
5
get
games.
those points, baby!
Yeah, I wish I saw Bowser's POV. Bowser actually popped hard right there.
You guys are so fucked.
I mean, like Wig
Fucking go.
and
You
Six,
guys
obviously.
are
I don't want
so
to take.
good.
I don't want to
Let's
take
go,
rid of them,
baby.
but
It's the fucking vibe
on the side,
today,
Bowser
bro.
was
Let's
just
go.
clapping everybody. I want to see how Cowie got us picked so easily on Lou.
Alright.
Prowler's deadly, yeah. Prowler's going nuts.
Let me know when you're all ready.
I'm gonna get this R99 and I'm ready to go.
Okay.
There's just so much loot here. I just don't want to lose from that one.
I have my prowler or my scout still. Unless you want me to run it, I can run scout.
Scout wouldn't be bad for the zone.
Okay, no problem. No
We're
problem.
trying to push forward.
Yeah, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
We could probably lead the
Nice
target platoon if you
job,
wanted,
boys!
yeah.
Let's fucking go, dude.
Oh,
Yo, dude.
easy 6 points, boys. Easy
Yup.
6 points.
That's crazy. That's a 6-point start to the fucking tournament,
That's
man.
how you do it, bro. You
They
don't
got
back
fed
the
that
fuck
shit.
down. Let's keep it going.
What was that second team? I think it was Petty Boss's team. Yeah, it doesn't even surprise me. Why doesn't it surprise you? Because Petty's team does a lot of like just aping on teams, and from what I've seen, they don't usually always get away
Nothing
with it.
diner. Nothing diner.
Like they're cracked players. I just don't think their decision making is very
Doesn't
good.
look like there's anything on this left side. Can we say left?
Yes, yes, yes. I'm coming. I'm coming.
They just got diner. They just got diner.
Okay, that's fine.
Did they? Hold on.
No, I don't think. I think it's just fenced. I think it's just fenced.
All
Oh,
right.
they're in there. They're in there. They're in there. They're there.
I don't think they stated like their overall plan on where they want to go. They're probably just trying to.
Crack. 27 red.
They're probably just trying to find as far if they can
Okay,
get as far as they
I'm being
can.
annoying. I'm being annoying to them. That's me.
I'm gonna think about it. We can take here.
Yeah, it's
We wanna go past.
Want to go for portal.
Okay.
The 4
We
stories.
we either have to go all the way north and try to like wrap north side, or we have to.
Remember,
like,
chat. This is old Wraith.
rotate the trials late or play up.
This is not nerf portal Wraith.
Yeah.
What is just so hot to go water you?
I'll set up here. I'll set up here.
Better put on a good show.
Let's shot, boys. Let's go.
I don't just VOD review everyone. I didn't VOD review Nasky's team.
I think
Not
we
that they
wanna
didn't
be
put on a
in
good
this
show. I
round
just
four right
I can't do an infinite
Exactly.
amount of VOD reviews. They all cost money, so
Yeah, that would be ideal if we can.
I can only do like 1 or 2 a tournament.
Easier to force it with portal.
Also, because of the schedule, I can only really do 1 or 2.
Yeah. We're chilling. I think that's where we go though.
This is gonna be tough. Where do
All
you
right.
want to pivot from that building 6?
So this is what I was talking about. We'll get to listening to them talk about it in a second, but if it pulls, I think they think it's gonna be. I think I saw the pings. I'm pretty sure they know it's not gonna be Skyhook, but this is what I was talking about. Where I don't remember how they died in this game, but I wouldn't be surprised if they don't make it out on this rotation because like I said, these buildings on the back are so much harder to rotate out of than the buildings on the front. Anytime you take a big rotation, like, or just in general, if you know, like, sometimes it doesn't, like, I try to tell my team this a lot. It doesn't matter, like, brute forcing the zone of where you think it's going to end doesn't matter as much as just taking a strong position that gives you options to rotate from later on. Which this position right here doesn't really. Like I said, they don't really have a choice, I think, because there's a team literally in all 3 of these buildings out here. But the one thing that strikes me as a potential is maybe the north side. Maybe they keep like running out the north side, and then if they need to, they can rotate around the mountain. Again, I don't know what teams are out there, but that could be an option rather than maybe them sticking down here and calling it today.
So if we,
Who's Yeet Squad?
all right. So what's
Yeah,
the
you're
other
actually
options?
fake, Bentito.
We're playing for. Hold on. Let's see if I can get info really.
When's next tourney? Tomorrow.
It's gonna end like northwest like trials. It's gonna end like here, bro. You see this?
Cracked one. Almost knocked him. Holy shit. Sorry. My bad.
In the diner?
Yeah, diner.
Hype
He's one
Wiggins.
shot. He healed now. He healed now.
Okay. All right. So you think it's gonna end on the backs of trials? Do we want to just go for this?
Ours still think
goes
it'll
around
follow.
this way? 'Cause it looks like we have 3 rotates all the way across here.
Yeah, we have to like rotate. We have to somehow worm our way north if we can.
Okay, we can get into this.
I think we could probably just make this run outright if you
I
want to
think
try to
so.
run this.
I think we make the run, but there's a team on top 4 story to the left of that.
Huh? He said go
We can make
north.
that run though.
I think
Tricked
we
you,
just-
kicked W? No, you only tricked yourself.
Come to me.
I can just grapple it. I'm gonna grapple it.
What's up, woman?
Just remember, there's also a team market 6.
Yes.
I know.
I don't want any.
But I want to get
don't want
closer
it.
so I can use my portal to get past.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Damn.
I'm looking market.
I'm just saying.
What about the houses past? I think market's cracking right now.
No, I mean, just
Yeah.
notice how they're moving north. You know?
We can get to this though, right? That's 100. I can go from here probably.
Addy said they give it the follow.
You could. I think we could.
No,
also
yeah,
just
yo, let's go over the wall. Go over the wall.
Okay. Okay. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming.
It destroys them, Papa, yeah. I'm doing well, Baller. How are you, man? Pretty good gaming scene already. I didn't watch this part. I don't know how they died. I watched them live when they fought everybody up by the beacon building outside of the Skyhook choke. I didn't watch this though.
Nice. Good rotations. I like this a lot. How do you guys feel about this? I like this a lot.
I think this is better. Yeah. So we want to try to move up the other side.
I mean,
Okay.
there's a certain magic to when you call what a good rotation from then on out would be,
I can bully.
and then it
I can
happens.
trench from
There's
right
just a
Yeah,
certain
they're
magic
getting shots in
to
here.
it.
careful. We need to be careful of market. That's the only thing, but we can
That looks like
easily bully.
a wiener.
I have path for 100.
Nice. Watch out, market.
attack.
Yeah, watch market too.
Here, I'm gonna just chill in this building for just a minute before I repeak.
You're good. You're good.
They're getting shot at. I'm gonna walk up on this in a second.
Yeah.
I might, Gussie. I did one for the last
They might not
tournament.
even have a jam.
Alright.
What up,
C6 is
Logis?
gonna push, So
Alright, let's listen to the
I was
comms
thinking
here.
about originally trying to get up to the top side,
Okay.
but the thing is that we have nowhere to play over there. So I think that.
I think that might be a death trap. I think we should try rush up there as a death trap.
Yeah.
IMO.
Okay.
Okay.
What about just that first story again on that beacon?
Yeah. We could play the first story, but like our rotation just sucks afterwards.
I think
True.
no matter what, our rotation's gonna be shitty unless we go up and around and fight this team in the top house. That's the only
I
thing.
think maybe we go here and then try to fight for that.
I think that's the only way. 100%.
I'm gonna portal around that backside.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Ooh.
think we set that fight. Is that cool with you?
Yeah, I'm with it.
I
I'm
don't
with
know
it.
about
I think
those.
that's the
You
only
gotta be careful
option.
about those shots, Bowser.
I'm gonna go to you. Sit on your portal, okay?
Okay. So they're gonna know we're doing this.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, 100%. The
Yeah,
only option though.
it's
if I'm
all
being real.
mental, man. It's literally all mental. Like, a lot of people have been asking me, what do I think like is holding
House,
my
right?
boys
House.
back right now, and it's literally mental, dude. It's just staying mentally strong when things go south.
Okay.
It's just so monkey shake.
This is really awkward.
I have no gen spots here.
Can we get over there instead?
Yeah. We can walk this shit.
That'll be much better.
I'm walking that. I'm walking that.
I'm weak.
Okay.
Okay, I'm under bridge. I'm medkitting under the bridge here.
I have no meds.
So a lot of what they said was right. Like this is a bit of a death rotation. It's going to be very difficult to get through this one, but I think it was 6 that said it. Either way they go, if they go south and around, they're going to run to literally every other team. Most teams are going to try to rotate through that. So it's a tough rotation either way. Whichever, if you're on the wrong side of this mountain, it sucks. But I think this is definitely the right call.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
We're gonna have to hard fight.
Hey,
this.
a lot of
I
your
think we just double
PV.
key.
Do a lot of
100%.
auditing myself. In your opinion, would you consider 16 Bowser some of the smartest players in the game? Not sure if you've seen, but I actually predicted this team to win this tournament on my Twitter, and I also predicted Madden's team to win the tournament.
that
They
farmers
did.
right here?
My Twitter popped off. I
sure
do
they're not
think
just
I played
double
with 6. I
holding?
know how smart he is at the game. I definitely agree with that.
I'm moving a little bit to the right here.
All right, CRV, thank you for the
people
Twitch
here.
Prime
Are you
for
sure
2
there's
months,
two
baby.
They're-
Welcome back,
they're
man.
separate
Thank
right now.
you,
I think
appreciate
they're
it.
going to the RV. Or they went back. We can play to the RV right now.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, I'm going to you, Wig. I'm going to you. I think they're in our. I think
Yeah,
they're.
they left.
that
No,
was-
they left. They left. They left. They
My
left.
frames are dog shit.
They
Right
left. Yeah, mine too. Mine too.
Okay,
No, they're in RV. They're in RV. Almost cracked one.
I'm nading that. They have gen. They have gen.
It's fine. We're gonna have to fight this. We're gonna have to fight this.
I'm burning one in there. Blue.
now. I'm on this.
I'm as well. I'm coming.
I'm going to
One
win.
shot, Gibraltar. Gibraltar dead. I need to heal. I need to heal. Popping heals. I'm popping heals. It's all you.
Wait, I knocked one. Watch for the third.
Outside. Outside. Watson. He's dying. He's dying. He's dying.
He's gonna get 30. He's gonna get 30.
Get our kill points.
Can we zip top? Can we zip top?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, go.
Go. No, I'm fine. We can go. We can go.
Aggressive. Don't get aggressive. We're safe in here.
I need a med kit again.
That's fine. Oh, that was awkward, dude.
I mean, it worked though. Good job.
Yeah.
Seriously, really good job.
Holy fuck.
They will try to kill us. They will try to kill us here.
Wigs R9, a little wacky.
Bro, my frames are dog shit.
I know.
dude.
Same. It's okay. It's good. It's good. Don't focus on that right now. Don't focus. I know. It sucks. You're good. You're good. Do we have a portal to get behind them? Maybe.
Yeah, I got a portal right now.
I think we might have to. I don't think we can fight this straight up.
Okay.
Yeah, this is rough.
What do you good poke?
I'm trying. I just have no.
I don't have poke. I don't have good poke, man.
All right, so the only thing that's a little rough about this is there is not a single chance in hell. I would have to imagine there's not a single chance in hell that this team that's up here doesn't have a team. There isn't a team waiting for them like right outside the ring. It could be this team. They might be trying to like extend their ground. You know, like they're trying to like hold them out here, but they could also be controlling all of this too, this area. But this is a really rough. I mean, it's their like really only play other than like completely brute forcing this team. But I think right now when you're in a position like this, I think you don't really move until like the very last second. Again, I don't know how it plays out, but I think because a lot of teams are going to die on this rotation, there's 15 squads zone 4. This rotation is going to completely take out all of Skyhook in terms of the ring. I think you probably just try to stay alive as long as possible just for extra placement points, or try to brute force the team up here. I'd be surprised if this portal got a lot done. It's there. I mean, it's not a bad portal at all. It never hurts to use the portal for scouting and to check to see if maybe something is free. It's certainly a good call, but I'd be surprised if it actually is able to get something done.
Kids, bro.
I think we sit on this board.
Yeah.
They're gonna ape you. They're gonna ape you. One's flat.
I'm taking back.
Oh shit.
I'm
Okay.
taking back the bat. I have to.
Okay, I have to take it back.
What? Oh no, I'm dead.
I took it back on accident too.
You're good. You're good. You're good.
Yeah, it was a little rough.
I just can't get inside now.
They're gonna send on him. They're gonna send on him.
Ah.
Bro, I can't see shit. My friends are talking right now.
We're back. We're back. Nice. Nice.
That's fine.
It's fine. I'm on.
Coming out. Coming out.
Good try. Good
Dude,
try.
I have 100 frames. Like,
It's okay. It's okay. I can't go down there. I can't go down
Yeah.
there. It's my bad.
No.
100%. Six. I know your frame sucks, Six, but yeah. I mean, so couple just missed comms here.
I don't have good poke, man.
So Six makes the portal.
I have no angle on these kids, bro.
I think we sit on this board.
Yeah.
They're gonna ape you. They're gonna ape you. One's flat.
Six immediately yells he's taking it back. That means you see he immediately gets his armor cracked. That means, hey, we should probably not take this portal. I think Wig just got a little over aggressive here.
Oh shit. Okay.
He said, "Oh shit, okay," but he's like, "Nah, you know what? Maybe I can beat him." He did. But this actually plays out so differently right here. If he just went back right away. Rogue.
I took it back on.
I know Rogue is a team where if they do get one knock, they're probably it's very likely they send it through the portal after you. I've seen it many times. If they get a knock, they'll heal up and then they're not afraid to send it through a portal, and that's exactly what they do. Yeah, it literally comes down to Wig just not going down there. Listening to the comms. If your Wraith is screaming that he's going back, you probably should too. Especially because I think the Watson was actually in process of fencing off the portal. Had she fenced off that portal even sooner, Wig was even way more dead.
Bro, I can't see shit. My friends are talking right now.
We're back. We're back. Nice. Nice.
They almost kind of brought it back.
What the fuck is going on? That's fine.
They almost kind of brought it back.
We're coming back to you now.
Coming out.
Good try. Good try.
Unlucky.
I have 100.
But that's like a
okay,
really
it's okay. I can't
like all right. So 14 and 8. That's a 9-point game. That's actually a really good score. If you do a 9-point average across all your games, you probably guarantee at least top 3. A lot of it depends on if one team super mega pops off. But 14 and 8, 9 points is an insanely good first game. I do remember watching them actually like die right there, and the biggest thing to take away from it is not just a decent point game, is that their mental is not shot, because these games these tournaments are marathons, they're not sprints, right? You have to keep a strong mental across 5 games. Them demolishing, and I think them rolling complexity in the beginning was a massive confidence booster for them. I think that was kind of like what set the ball rolling a little bit.
Go down there. I can't go down there. It's my bad.
No, I literally didn't do anything. I
But
couldn't fucking see the whole time.
I do want to make note of this here a bit, because I do remember this.
We're good.
8 kills. 8 kills. We got
8 kills. Yeah.
We made them sweat. We made those fuckers sweat for that.
I think we just all take portrait, bro. I almost one clip dropped. He was one shot.
That's what I was thinking. I think we fight port that.
Yeah.
easily.
He was one shot. I almost killed dropped.
That's such a hindsight call. Six dropped the portal and got his entire armor cracked. Almost nobody, like, you have to think nobody would make that call to be like, take the portal, come through, right? I don't like that's a very hindsight call, I feel, out of Wig, you know. Like, yeah, obviously Wig fucked him up, but there's no way for Six to know that he was gonna do that.
I know 170 to him.
I was just saying I have to go back.
Yeah.
Situations like that, remember, I'm already 100 down, like, right off the bat.
Yeah.
But I have literally no frames, dude. I don't know what the fuck that was about.
That's annoying.
If this is Rogue,
really
okay,
annoying.
so this is Rogue actually up here. So one thing, because it's the same team, what they could have easily done is baited them or put that portal back there. Six comes up, Six come back, and maybe assuming that just putting that portal sometimes pulls teams back. That portal could have pulled them back off the high ground here, and then they probably could have zipped up or climbed up and then taken this high ground and played off that and had a couple more what's it called, options. So sometimes putting a portal down is good for obviously scouting and keeping your options open, but it's good to also like change the way teams play around you. I think that definitely could have been like the play. I think if they played that a little bit slower. And again, the big thing also to know, they died at 14th, right?
Yeah, take portal.
So they know that this rotation is really fucking rough. They died at 14th, but look at like as soon as they die, well, they're the ones that died, so it goes down to 13. Like 5-10 seconds later, goes down to 12.
Seriously, bro, you did great.
Teams are gonna start dying around this time. Already down to 11.
I know, it sucks, dude. It's all good.
And now the squads are really going to start dying. So if they could have like just, I think playing it fast there was a little, or playing it that hard was just a little too aggressive.
Dude, if Bowser, dude, if I just fucking told y'all to take the portal with me, bro, we kill them. That sucks. That's on me, man. I should have fucking said something. I literally had dropped one shot.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way to know like someone's going to go through the portal and just fucking clap them like that. Content creators. Yeah, I'm trying to get some of these codes. Yes, check. Everybody has FPS issues, typically in tournaments.
Trying to get some of these codes though. Are pretty fun.
Yeah, I think if they just played that slower, for this, the reason of just getting a more informed rotate in, and also other teams might be dying and they'll be naturally getting points like that. But that's game one. We're gonna go.